What's up everybody, welcome to another BTD Gaming deck profile, and today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite just cards slash archetypes in general, the classic, the ever so popular that Konami keeps making so many waves of support and not really elevating this deck to a meta threat, but it's still fun regardless. I'm talking about, of course, Dark Magician. Alright, now, like I just said, this deck isn't topping any YCSs anytime soon, alright, but it's still a very, very fun deck to play if you have the funds to afford it. Yeah, it's not the most budget-friendly deck out there, but if you do have the cards and you want to play a classic classic archetype like Dark Magician, then this is the list for you. We're going to take a look at the deck profile and then take a look at some gameplay to see how the deck performs. So, looking at the profile, and we have 41 cards. Okay, now right off the bat, you're probably thinking, whoa, first of all, what's with all these one-ups? What are all these ritual cards in here? What's going on with this list? Is that a Sky Striker I see? Just hold on. Let's really look through this, and I'll explain why I made the choices I made as we go through the card by card. So this Dark Magician list is post Battle of Chaos, which saw a good amount of new Dark Magician support and Blue Eye support, which is good. Alright, and some of those cards are actually really good. Now, these cards aren't just played specifically in Dark Magician. We've seen some in other more meta strategies as well, but obviously it works really well in the Dark Magician deck, and I do think this deck is the best it's ever been. On a local level, this deck does very well. Again, it's not going to be topping any regionals or YCS anytime soon, but if you want a deck that has that nostalgic feel and it's just very fun to play, then Dark Magician is your deck. So, let's go through the card by card. First, we have 2 Dark Magician. Now, the reason we put 2 in here and not 3 is because A, just like almost every card in this deck, he's searchable. Dark Magician is searchable, and of course we want him in the grave. So we only need 2 Dark Magician because they can get real bricky real fast. We have 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon for our Dragoon play. We have Dark Magician Girl, which on the surface it's like, wait, what? Dark Magician Girl? Dark Magician Girl as a card isn't that good. But Dark Magician Girl in the grave in this deck can really trigger a lot of different kinds of plays and can almost be an extender of sorts, depending on what play you're making with her. Dark Magician Girl is the target you want to send to the graveyard from your deck using this next card, Magician Souls, to activate its effect. You want Dark Magician Girl in the grave for these effects. Magician Souls, one of the best cards in the deck, can special summon, can dump cards to the grave. You can draw cards off of it. It's a level 1, which means it can link off to other things, an effect monster, which means you can get some Anaconda plays. Magician Souls, and again, just like most cards in this deck, is searchable. So Magician Souls, very good card, a must include 3 of. Next we have 2 Magician's Rod. This is a card where you don't necessarily want to see this in your opening hand. There's other ways it can get to your hand, but it is a normal summon searcher, and it is still a solid card, which again can search cards in the deck to add to your hand. Next, we have Tamias the United Dragon. This card, again, searchable and can special summon and can fuse with Dark Magician cards, Dark Magician monsters, to make cards like Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Plus, it's just another dragon target to have for maybe Dragoon. So Tamias actually a pretty solid card in this deck. Next we have 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring as one of our hand traps. Going into our ritual cards, this is one of the Battle of Chaos cards that is really good, not just in this deck, but in meta strategies as well. I'm talking about Illusion of Chaos. Now, Illusion of Chaos is a fun little card, okay, that you can search, add one Dark Magician or one non-ritual monster that mentions Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. This card can search a ton of stuff in this deck, and the only real cost you have to pay is sending a card from your hand back to the deck. So if you have Illusion of Chaos and you draw a card like Red Eyes, or you draw a card like Dark Magician Girl, or you hard draw your Red Eyes Fusion when you don't want to see it, you can send these bricks back to the deck and replace it with a card that you can actually use. Illusion of Chaos is a very, very good card and can do more than just those ritual plays. It can fuse into one of our fusion monsters as well if you have the right setup. Illusion of Chaos, great card to add to this deck. And of course, we have Soravis, the Ancient and Ascended. This is just another search target for your prep rights. You can discard this card to negate an activation. When your opponent activates a card effect that targets a monster you control. So it's kind of like a hand trap that's searchable in the deck as well. And that is our monster lineup. Next, we have Preparation of Rites, which I always forget is not once per turn. Add one level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Then you can add one ritual spell from your graveyard to your hand, which we're not using that effect. You use this to search Illusion of Chaos. Yeah, so Preparation of Rites, really good card in this deck that can set up your Illusion of Chaos plays. Or if you already have an Illusion of Chaos, you can use it to search your Soravis as well. Crossout Designator, a card I have fallen in love with this format, especially with all the Ash Blossoms and Imperms running around. You need these cards to resolve, so Crossout Designator is just a great card to have. I think it's finally starting to have a home in this current format, and I think Crossout fits this deck as well. We have 2 Soul Servant. You should probably be running 3, but I only own 2 because this card is expensive. Alright, so you should run 3 Soul Servant, but in this deck I only run 2, and it's not the worst thing in the world. Yes, you want the 3rd Soul Servant to draw more cards. You should be running 3 if you have 3, but in this build I run 2. Next, we have 1 Dark Magical Circle. Now, in older Dark Magician decks, Dark Magical Circle was a card you would run 2, maybe even 3 of, but not anymore. Alright, again, this is a searchable card, or it's a card you can add to the top of your deck to draw with Soul Servant, or you activate and chain it with Soul Servant. Dark Magical Circle, you only need 1 of them. You have its Banish effect that goes really well with cards like Eternal Soul. So Dark Magic Circle, very good card in this deck. Next, we have Magician's Salvation, a field spell that lets you set Eternal Soul. And this card also lets you, if you have a Dark Magician on the field, to special summon a Dark Magician Girl, or vice versa. If you have a Dark Magician Girl, you can special summon a Dark Magician. So that's what I mean by saying that having Dark Magician Girl is pretty nice, because it triggers plays like this where you get more bodies onto the field. Alright, next we're moving into our 1-of fusion spells. Secrets of Dark Magic, you can ritual summon with it. You can fusion summon using monsters from your hand or field, including Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl as fusion material. It's also a quick play, which is nice. So 1 Secrets of Dark Magic, 1 Magical Eyes Fusion, and of course 1 Red Eyes Fusion to get your Dragoon out on the field. Next, we have our limited cards. You have 1 Called by the Grave. Same reason why Crossout Designator is in here. You need some of these cards to resolve. Also, banishing opponent's cards is usually a good thing, except if you're playing Flaunderies. Next, now this is interesting, and we've been seeing more and more of this in Dark Magician builds, but a small little Sky Striker engine. We have Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. Alright, Engage can let you add a Hornet Drones, and Hornet Drones can get you a token onto the field. Again, these are extenders so that you can get more buys onto the field to make more plays and get more cards out there to set up a better board. A nice small little Sky Striker engine, which of course goes with Sky Striker Ace Kagari. So those are our spell cards. Next, we have 2 Infinite Impermanence as another hand trap and can be a Crossout Designator target. 2 Solemn Judgment, Omni Negate. A lot of people prefer Solemn Warning. I just like, you know, negating summons. You know, this card is very good specifically against decks like Flaunderies, against decks like Prank Kids, where you negate the summon in general, which is huge against those decks. Solemn Judgment, very, very good card. Ice Dragon's Prison can be a killer for your opponent. If you flip this on them at the right time and banish the right monsters using it, it can be detrimental to them. Ice Dragon's Prison, one of my favorite cards in the game. We have 2 skill drain. You know, we need room in the deck for other things, which is why I didn't put 3. It's not necessarily a card you want to see turn 1, but it's a nice backup plan to have. If you want to swap this off with maybe more hand traps or a different kind of trap card, then you definitely can. That goes with all of these trap cards, by the way. And we have 1 Eternal Soul. Now, Eternal Soul, while being a risky card, because if it leaves the field, it clears off everything. Alright, but if you're able to get Eternal Soul out with Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, which is, by the way, easier to get out on the field because of cards like Timaeus and cards like Ancient and Ascended, these can protect each other, which is very good. So yeah, so that's the main deck, and let's go into the extra deck now. We have Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which is just a big boss monster, negate, can pop stuff, can do burn damage. You know, just an amazing, amazing card. We have Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, again, which is another body and also offers protection for your Eternal Soul. The Dark Magician, you can draw cards with it when spell effects are activated. A nice little combo here is with Eternal Soul effect, activating Dark Magical Circle, which triggers a Dark Magicians to let you draw from the deck. We have a new card from Battle of Chaos, which is Master of Chaos. What's funny about this is you can use a card like Dark Magician the Dragon Knight as material for Master of Chaos, but then you can summon it back from the grave using Master of Chaos's effect. Master of Chaos, very solid fusion card in this deck, and of course you have your Illusion of Chaos that you can use to fusion it with. We have an Xyz package. Big Eye can take control, and whenever you want Xyz cards, you should probably have Zeus included. Going into the Link monsters, we have a lot. We have Sky Striker Ace Kagari going with your Sky Striker package. Link Spire to link off your normal monsters or to link off a token. Link Rebo, you can use to link off Magician Souls or a token, whatever. And, you know, adds more protection. One of my favorite cards out of Battle of Chaos, Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy. You can target 1 dark monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to the zone this card points to. If this Link summon card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in its own monster zone, you can add 1 dark monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. Yeah, I love this card because of its control effect for your opponent's monsters. Plus, adding that dark monster from deck to hand is really solid as well. Targets for that, of course, include Magician Souls, and that's really it. Magician Souls. Oh, and Magician's Rod. So Dark the Dark Charmer Gloomy, very good. Anaconda to not just exclusively for Dragoon, but you can facilitate other fusion plays as well with Anaconda. Apollosa for negation. IP Masquerena. Again, one of my favorite cards because you can link someone on your opponent's turn, and that link monster can't be destroyed because of IP's effect, and it's only a link 2. And 2 non-link monsters, which you have plenty of. Nightmare Unicorn, which will eventually lead into Access Code Talker. So that is the extra deck. Going into the side deck, we have 2 Nibiru. We have some hand trap, a swappage if need be. So 2 Nibiru, 2 Effect Veiler. It's a level 1 light spellcaster, has some synergy with the deck overall. Artifact Lancia to really mess up Flaunderies Day and even Prank Kids to that extent. We have Token Collector. You need this card. You need to side this card in if you're going against Brave Engine. Lightning Storm for going second. Harpy's Feather Duster for back row removal. 3 Dark Lure No More for going second, and Evenly Matched for going second. So yeah, this is my current Dark Magician build. Now, I don't really have an older deck profile for Dark Magician on the channel, but just like Gravekeepers, Dark Magician is one of my favorite decks. I know it's not the best, but I still think it's really, really fun to play. So let's take a look at some replays. and let's see how the deck works. Alright, here we go with our first replay. We're going up against Toons, and we're actually going second. They have Toon Kingdom, which could be a problem, because now their Toon monsters can't really be destroyed or anything like that, but we have Preparation of Rites to get another Illusion of Chaos. We're going to get the Illusion of Chaos Search for our Magician's Rod. We activate Magician's Soul, sending the Dark Magician. Summon Magician's Rod. We're going to search for Soul Servant, activate Soul Servant. We're going to put Magician's Salvation at the top, activate Soul Servant to draw, Magician's Salvation to set Eternal Soul, Anaconda, pay 2,000, we'll get Dragoon out, and we have a pretty good setup here. Now we're going to use the Dragoon effect just to get cards out of the deck for Toon Kingdom's effect. They still take the damage here. We're going to set some of our trap cards, and it's our opponent's turn, saying Comet Camp, but we're going to negate with Dragoon, activate Eternal Soul to special summon Dark Magician, and negate the Comet Can, activate Rod, and they're going to surrender right there. Alright, in our next matchup, we're going up against Pendulum, and we are going first, activate Souls, to send the Dark Magician Girl. We're going to normal summon Rod to get a search. We're going to search Soul Servant, activate Soul Servant. We're going to put Illusion of Chaos at the top. We're going to draw Illusion of Chaos, get the Illusion of Chaos search to get to Maias. We're going to get Anaconda out, setting the Rise Fusion that we put back per Illusion of Chaos' effect. Bring out Dragoon, and then we are also going to set our Imperm. They activate Allure of Darkness, and we negate the Purple Poison Magician, but they're going to get rid of our Anaconda, but now they kind of have a pretty decent setup here. Pendulum Call, they have Oath Dragon Magician out. They also get Celestial Magicians for their scales. They're going to Pendulum Summon some cards here. Pretty good setup. They have the Halqifibrax, but we're going to negate the Halqifibrax with Infinite Impermanence, but they're still going to get their Dark Charmer Gloomy out, but that's not going to do much. They're going to get out their Unchained Abomination, but we're still in a pretty good spot here. Draw phase, another Illusion of Chaos. Illusion of Chaos effect, we're going to negate the Pendulum Trap, and we're going to get our search. We get another Magician's Rod, normal Magician's Rod. We get our search for Soul Servant, activate Soul Servant. We put Magician's Salvation at the top, banish Soul Servant to draw the 2, Magician's Salvation to set Sword, Eternal Soul. We're going to burn them for 3, getting rid of their Unchain, and win the duel there. And for our last replay, an interesting hand here. We're going up against Tenyi's Sword Soul, and they're going to Ash our Illusion of Chaos, so this is all we can really do. But it doesn't look like they drew that great either, so they're going to summon the Tenyi, and then we're going to Ash the spell, and they're going to normal Valor, but we're going to Ice Dragon's Prison to banish the other 2 monsters. So they tried to get Baron out there. That didn't really work. They Ash our Illusion of Chaos again, but we call by the grave the Ash, so we still get our search. They have no cards in hand. We're actually looking for the Magician's Rod here instead of the Magician's Soul, so we still get a search. Attack for 1,600. And now it's their turn, and we have them in a tough spot. They draw on the Biru and can't really do anything. We hard draw Red Eyes Fusion, but we're going to search Illusion of Chaos, get Magician's Souls, send back the Red Eyes Fusion, put Dark Magician Girl in the grave, which is what we want to do. Anaconda effect, we're going to Red Eyes Fusion because we want those cards in the grave as well. We're going to attack directly with Anaconda and Dragoon, and now we're back to a pretty good spot. Let's see what they draw. They get Sword Soul Emergence, but we Dragoon effect to negate it, and that's all they have. And our Dark Magician deck beats Tenyi Sword Soul thanks to some hand traps and some well-timed plays. Alright, well, there you have it. And yeah, this deck has a lot of potential. Not in like the Red Eyes way, but a lot of potential. But it also has brick potential as well, which can be a problem, obviously, in today's format. But when this deck gets going, and you have that setup, it can be very difficult to deal with. Again, one of the biggest problems with this deck isn't its power level, which, you know, I guess is a problem per se, because it's not as consistent as you want it to be, but with the right cards, it can be very consistent with its searching and all that. But another problem with the deck is, in paper play, TCG, it's expensive. These cards are expensive cards, and that's just kind of what happens with these nostalgic support cards. So hopefully they get reprints and these prices go down a little bit. But fact of the matter is, I mean, this is the deck. I have a lot of fun with it. Dark Magician has always been one of my favorite strategies, regardless of its power level. So I hope you enjoy it as well. I hope this deck profile was helpful. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to everything. Follow me on the socials, all that stuff. If you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content, again, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So this has been my Dark Magician deck profile, and I will see you on the next one later.